I didn't think Bungie could actually make this build even better, and then they went and actually buffed the Roman supers, which includes this one, the Behemoth. So the Titan now got even stronger, now being able to spam supers, and since Stasis is so strong this season, it is just crazy the amount of things that you can do with the super as well. So today we're going to be updating the build, taking into account the new mods, and also the changes to the Roman supers. And the only thing that you're going to need for this build is going to be the Spirit of Inmost Light to your class item, or worst case scenario, use the Inmost Light exotic itself. But definitely the class item is the best way to do it, since you can pair it up with some other just crazy perks. But let's not waste any more time, let's get into it. And this time we're actually going to be starting a little bit different, because we're actually going to be starting off with the subclass. So of course we are on the Prismatic Titan, and for super we are running the Glacial Quake. You get this thing just so much faster now, that you can actually spam it very well into like your just spam abilities. Usually whenever you use God out of a Transcendence, or right before you Transcend, that's like the best time to actually use your Glacial Quake. You pretty much want to alternate between Transcending and popping your super, and with just how quickly we can get it now, that is very easy. For your class ability, you definitely want to use the thruster. You don't really want to stand back and just put up walls, and the thruster just gonna fits right into everything that you're doing, which is just spamming abilities. It makes your all abilities come back faster, like your grenade or your melees, so it's just great. You basically just use it whenever you have it. For the melee, we are on the Frenzy Blade, just so we can get those 3 charges, and also on the Glacier Grenade. We're on the Glacier Grenade for a couple of reasons. I'm more on this for a couple of different reasons. One, because there's a lot of stasis mods this season, so the Glacier Grenade really benefits from all of them. And the second reason is that whenever we throw it at a group of enemies, it gives a ton of Darkness Transcendence energy, and even some extra damage against some of those bigger enemies, just by hitting them with our grenade. So that's also going to work pretty well with our Consecration. Now for the aspects, we're going to have basically just like the default Titan aspects. Consecration, because Consecration is just ridiculous. And also knockouts, and this is going to be that we're going to be staying alive. Every time that we kill something with our melee, we get some health back. And this is just like, you know, the typical Titan aspects that you've seen. They basically are always paired up together. Now let's move on to the fragments, and the first one that we have is going to be the Facet of Purpose. Whenever we pick up some more power, we gain some frost armor, meaning that we're going to have some extra damage resistance. This is just to keep us alive, and since we're going to be making tons of orbs, this is basically always on as long as we're killing things. Next up after that, we're going to have the Facet of Protection, and this is again to give us some more survivability. Whenever we're surrounded by enemies, we gain some increased damage resistance. And since we're going to be always just so close and personal with the enemies, this thing is basically always on, always giving us that extra damage reduction. After that, we're going to have the Facet of Courage, and this makes it so any arc, solar, or void abilities do extra damage to enemies that are affected by darkness buffs. This is going to pair really well with our grenade. Basically, we throw a grenade at a big enemy, it slows so freezes them, we go in with the Consecration, and just hit for a ton more damage. That's basically what this is here for, and it also works with our super crystals as well, but it doesn't work as well there, since we're most of the time just going to be breaking them with our actual super. After that, we're going to have the Facet of Ruin. This is going to affect both our stasis crystals and also our Consecration damage, just doing more damage. And lastly, we're going to have the Facet of Balance. Whenever we get some rapid precision hits with light or darkness damage, we're going to get some more energy back. Since most of the damage we're going to actually be doing is going to be light damage, most of the time we get melee energy, but that's fine, because that's like just the one thing we need. What we are going to be using our grenade, basically like every time that we have it, the main thing that we worry about is just spamming that Consecration, so we definitely want as much melee energy as we can get. Now when it comes to the weapons, that's the beauty of the Consecration Titan, is that you don't really have to run specific weapons, but I would definitely say that you want to run the Lost Signal. The Lost Signal is going to give you a ton of Darkness Transcendence energy, which is definitely what you want, and it also applies debuffs. So I would definitely recommend that you run this, but it's pretty much like the only weapon that you really need in this build. Now for the artifact here, we're going to be running a mix of like stasis mods as well as some close range mods. We have Brain Freeze, Surf Coal, Concussive Reload, so we can apply debuffs with a grenade launcher, Hail the Storm, Total Carnage, and from down here we got Curative Orbs, the Thick of It, and then also Authorized Mods Melee, and of course then Overload Grenade Launcher. So now let's take a look at the armor mods we're running on the build, and first to start off with the helmet, and on the helmet we're running Triple Hands On mod, just so we can get a ton of super energy whenever we just kill things with our melee, which is gonna be all the time. For our gauntlets, we're gonna have something similar. We have 2 heavy-handed mods, so we can make a lot of orbs of power, and also a melee kickstart. So whenever we use our melee, we get some melee energy back, depending on the amount of like armor charge we're gonna have. And thanks to the seasonal mod, as well as all the orbs that we're gonna be making, we're essentially always gonna have some armor charge, so we can always take advantage of melee kickstart and just spam even more consecration. For your chest piece, this is gonna be pretty simple. It's just resistances. This is gonna change depending on like the strike you're doing or the activity that you're doing. For the gauntlets, we're gonna have invigoration, so we can get some more melee energy whenever we pick up an orb. Absolution, so we can get some energy to all our abilities, and lastly recuperation, so we can heal with orbs. We're gonna be making lots of orbs, so we definitely want to keep this. And for the class item, we want 2 outreach mods as well as a powerful attraction. The powerful attraction just makes it easier to pick up all the orbs that we're making. We just hit our class ability and immediately just pick all of them up, getting that super energy and also energy to our abilities. And while we're here already, let's actually talk about the exotic class item with the Spirit of the Inmost Light. Now, Inmost Light is gonna make it just so much easier to spam abilities, since every time you use one of your abilities, it empowers the other ability, giving them more damage and also faster regen. So as long as we keep throwing our grenade and using our thruster, we can just constantly just keep hitting our consecrations, because our melee comes back so much quicker. And this also works when you're in Transcendent. So in Transcendent, you essentially just always have melees up. It is crazy the amount of regen you have with Spirit of Inmost Light and also Transcendence going. And you can also pair this up with a ton of other good perks on the other slot. I was using it with Star Eater, just so our super could do some extra damage, because this is like the best one that I have with the Spirit of Inmost Light. I actually haven't gotten super lucky with the Inmost Light one, but the best one I would definitely say is Inmost Light plus Synthoceps. With that, you gotta do tons of damage, as well as just constantly being able to use your consecration. That's like the perfect one. I definitely still really like this one though, since we are using it super a lot more. We actually do take advantage of Star Eaters a lot more than we used to. But it's definitely gonna be very hard to beat the best one, which is Synthoceps and Inmost Light. But with that, that's actually gonna be the whole build. Now you guys have everything to go into pretty much any activity and just destroy it. I cannot believe that Bungie actually made this even stronger. Not only can you get a crazy amount of consecrations out there with this build now, but you can also use spam supers. It is ridiculous. If there's no enemies around, like one consecration just like skyrockets their super energy. But yeah, the Titan just got better, and you should definitely give it a try with Glacial Quake. I know people usually just run this with like Thunder Crash, but with the Glacial Quake being as good as it is now, I can see people pretty much just switching over to the Glacial Quake full time, unless it's like something that you just can't do against a boss. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy it. Give it a try, get into the GMs and just destroy them. You get a couple of these guys together and the GMs stand no chance, man. They stand no chance. It is crazy what Consecration Titan can do now. But anyways, that's gonna be the end of the video. I appreciate everyone stopping by. I know this one's not really anything like special or groundbreaking. We're essentially just updating the build. That's it. But hopefully you still enjoyed the video. Hopefully you still give it a try. Like always, there will be a dim link in the description below, so you guys can click it and just easily equip this build. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care everyone. Have a good rest of your day. Peace.